Soy Podcast. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't mean on this. Speak on it. Speak on it.
All right. Yo, we back with another episode, man. The second episode of Speak On It podcast. Yo, boys, we got the man, the highly anticipated Gympson, a.k.a. Blessed, in the house. Man,
in the house.
like I said, if you heard the intro, well, you heard the intro because you listen to us right now. That's the man right here on the intro, man. Spitting it. So before we even start, how you feeling, Mark? How you good? How you feeling?
Man? What's up, y'all? It's been highly anticipated, man. A lot of people have been looking forward to hearing from you, the man behind the music. You feel me? It's I've been like I said, looking forward to it all week. I don't think I slept last night. I was thinking about it. I was just like, man, this is gonna be awesome, man. Yeah, man. Hey, who knows, man? I might need to get your autograph before or after the show. Who knows, man? You never know. You never know.
You right.
I want to be able to say I was the first one to have your autograph. So you never know, man.
First two ninja. You stay always trying to ninja his way into everything by himself, man. Like, all right.
Yeah,
first two.
I'm doing first two.
He's on here.
We here.
Yeah, I saw the last one. I'm like, he finessed his whole childhood.
Bro.
Hey, listen, growing up in a tight, in a strict environment where your parents weren't, flexible. Listen, man. Listen, you gotta find a way to make it work because other kids are having fun out there, man. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, okay, whatever. Because, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. True. Do what you gotta do. So I'm like, as long as they don't find out, I'm good.
I don't know. We might need to do a poll and find out how many people sign up for an overnight job.
Right.
Who are 18 years old after listening to that episode.
Key, my God, that was the key.
That's my way out. Okay, sign me
up.
The
whole world the key now.
The plug.
They like, I know what to do. Get
I'm signing. I'm doing it, man. I'm gonna sign up overnight.
Right.
Shut up.
I would have worked the overnight shift. Yeah, but man. But our first question's got to be this question because we're talking about the intro for the last episode already. We're anticipating it. So we're going to just kind of talk about how it happened because honestly, it's the three of us. It actually took the three of us to make it happen, but obviously we couldn't make it happen without your boy Gibbs here. So I'm going to ask for his perspective on how it went down. When we threw out the question, like, let's possibly do an intro and his process, how he went through the whole thing. So when we hit you up about doing the intro, man, take us through the process to get us to the song, and we'll pitch in here and there when we got into it. But you could start it off for us because it started with you.
True. So it was a dope opportunity. First of all, like I ain't never been asked to do something like that. Like I don't
know why. You better ask now.
Dealing with I got the group always constantly not egging or anything, but just like encouraging me, like, yo, you doing the right thing, like you on it with this music thing. So it was so dope. So Ori came over. It was Ori's the godfather of our second newborn, Avery.
Yep.
So and of course his wife is the godmother. So they came over just to bond with their goddaughter and chill with us, of course. Yeah. And we just having fun. And we was watching a Netflix movie, Distant Strangers. And it's like in the midst of the ending of the hangout, or just like, hey, you want to do the intro?
Oh, wow. That's
for the podcast.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm stunned. Wow. But I'm like, he sounds serious though. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take it up. I'll do it. So we go, it's the next day. I didn't think about the intro at all day. It gets to the end of my shift, and it's like maybe give or take somewhere like 5:30, 6:30 in that ballpark. And it just like, yo, let me think about the song. Let me think about what beat would I do it on, or a tight beat or something or whatever. So I'm looking, and I'm feeling like R&B, but yeah, I'm feeling like the Baby too. So I'm like,
Baby's hot right now.
Yes, and then I've been liking the tune with her and Chris Brown called I think it's Come Through or something like that. I've been liking the melodic sound of that, and I'm just like, okay, let me put this together and see what comes out. So it just gave me the Baby Summer Walker type joint, and I like the cadence, like the flow that I could get off this, and I was like, yo, I think I got the intro. Like in the midst of driving to my appointment, I had 60% of what I want to say out already. Wow. So I get there and I was like, okay, when I finish this, I'm gonna call O and let him know, like, yo, I think we got something going on. So I call O, I say, yo, something's going on, I'm done, I'm headed to the office now. So the office is I work in Dania, so it's like a 20-minute drive. And I'm like, yeah, I think I got something. By the time I got to the office and got home, I was done with the whole intro in my mind. I had it all. I recorded it for O on the iPhone, sent it to him, and O was like, yo. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it.
And I said it to Mark at that point. Crazy. I was like, bro, this is what this man got so far on it. Like, we ain't got no beat yet, nothing. So this was like, all right. Good. I love what I hear. Now let us make this happen. Like we can't obviously steal the beat.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
I mean, we won't ever do that because we got the skills enough to make our own. Yeah. You feel me? So thank God we're blessed to have this guy right here who want to be called a producer. We gonna talk about it a little bit later what he did, because he claimed that it was almost all done. 70% of it was done already.
It was 85%. I'm pushing it up now. It was 85% done.
Yeah. So Gibbs, obviously you hit me up, you text me the beat. I text you back, like, yo, I love it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, how do we make it happen? How do we record? I'm like, when do we do this? I was like, what, the next day?
Yeah.
And he was like, what?
So I was like, oh, let me just talk to my wife and see what we got going on, and like the next day we'll meet up and do this. And actually, I think that night, O texted me midnight, like somewhere like it was definitely before 1, but after midnight, a beat sample that he came up with off the
audio clip you sent me.
That he got. So this was the inspiration. I'm like, everything worked. I'm like, and I can almost do the same cadence to it too. So I'm like, yo, this works out perfectly. You know what I mean? So I was like, I think I just told him, like, there's just some part you could have just looped it right back. You don't need to go into this transition or whatever. But this beat is perfect. So we worked out the date and the timing, and that's when we were gonna meet up with you too, Mark. And I was like, okay, this all works out. The wife gave me the thumbs up, and it was supposed to all go. Actually, the whole family was supposed to go over. Yeah. But my wife had, shout out to Creative Vision. Yeah,
Creative Visions. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she had a car to finish up some orders. Actually, probably like 2 of them to hurry up and finish up. So I left the newborn with her, and I took our oldest daughter with us, and came over and we went to work, and y'all boys was, like I said, that was one of my best top 3 studio moment ever in my life, like to this day. Like
crazy.
The energy was dope.
Yeah.
The energy was dope.
And then comes the ninja in the picture. The horns that you hear, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta clear this up, man. I
Go
gotta clear
ahead.
this up. All right, so let me clear it up.
Let's go make sure you
let
clear
me clear
it up.
some
Go
things
ahead.
up, man. So obviously, I saw Gympson one time. I went to your house. You guys had,
we had a little
event going on. So I went down, saw Gympson. I was like about 2 years, a year or something. About a year or something, right?
Before pandemic.
Yeah, and then obviously the idea of having this podcast started with us talking about it, right? And then last week Thursday or something like that, or the week before that. So I know you were working on something else before, right? And then I was like, well, that's dope. And then I got a text from you a few days later saying, bro, check this out. And you keep telling me about this Gympson guy. I'm like, who's Gympson? Yeah. Gympson. I'm like, no, my guy is dope, man. He's good. And then you sent me that little clip, that little thing, and I listened to it. I'm like, oh, we onto something right now, bro. We onto something. This is not just a little intro. Because most podcasts you listen to, it's different.
Yeah.
And obviously, that night, like you said, finally we got to meet up that night, and we worked on it. And like I was saying, about 85% of it was done. And Gympson, bro, like I would say, as an artist, you're not just a singer. You're also very musical, and that's big because you give us all the ideas that was missing. Like yo, add this and that, and I was like, all right, I get you, all right. So then Ori hopped on as well. So don't give me all the credit. Ori and I, we worked on this, and Gympson was just like, yo, yeah, this right here, yeah. Nah, think this out. Nah. So the whole night was just like, bro, let's do this, let's try this. And so it was all good energy throughout the whole night. Going home on my way home, remember, we finished the whole thing. I was blasting that music. My window's down. I pull up to a car next to me. I'm like, I'll put my window down so you can hear this. I put my window down, and the person was like, I've never heard that song before. I was like, yeah, you'll be hearing it soon. Eventually, don't worry about it. So that's how good it felt to finally do something so good. And working with you was a pleasure, man. Honor to,
No, it was dope to be able to express something mentally and have people understand me verbally, So I was like, I hear horns, and all you guys was like, synth or horns? And I was like, no, horns. It was like, okay. And here's Mark killing the game.
Oh, God.
And I was like, yes, that's the sound. That's the sound I hear. And we're going, and then Ori came with the bass tone. I was like, yo, this is it. And you're right, we just kept going, and like, bro, we could have made the whole track.
The whole track could have been done.
We kept going on.
We had to literally stop ourselves. Like, no, we gotta stop. It's 2 in the morning, man. We gotta stop.
Right.
We gotta stop.
My wife texted me, and we like, didn't even record the vocals yet. It was like, okay, we almost done. Done.
Sorry to the wives. Y'all might hear a lot of sorries from the two of us.
Oh, man.
But we love y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. We couldn't do this without you guys. Trust us.
For sure.
When this guy get married, he gonna understand.
For sure.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
So we had to bring the episode in this way, man. It was only right that we got the guy on the intro and the people that made the beat happen, who came together to make it happen, to just definitely let it work that way. And you never know, man. I feel like we got some things cooking in the works for us three, for the podcast, that in future episodes you guys might be seeing a lot more of my boy on the show. But hey, we gonna make sure the contacts are good, everything good, but we want that man here too, man. But this is his guest episode, so we gonna hit him up about some things that we feel like we want to know about him, and that you guys should know about him too, as a guest on the show today. As we said, he's an artist. So we gonna hit up some music joints for you guys. So Gibbs, Blessed, AKA Blessed, you guys better get used to the name. What would you say got you started in music? Like, cause we talked about on our intro episode where we were talking about how we got started on music. It was just like toys, playing around at home for me. Mark didn't have anybody there. There happened to be a piano there, and he just got on it. And that's how we got into it. I had some, playing around at home, and my mom was like, "You want lessons?" Quick recap if you ain't watched listen to the episode or watch the episode, but if you did, you already know. But Gibbs, how did you get started? Because ours was different. I feel like everyone's different, but let's just us hear how you got yourself into the music game.
So for me, music started, I would say somewhere around, definitely when my dad got with my stepmom. Music really started at that point for me. So that's around like 5, 6, that age. Ooh. And funny enough, I was country based.
Country music?
Country music. Strong in country music.
Come again, bro? Country music.
Don't sleep on the country music now.
This is going to be ironic, and maybe because of this fact or whatever, my mom and dad bought a brand new van, and no one was allowed to touch the radio, and it was stuck on the country station.
Oh, wow.
So it was always country music consistently, but it was jamming to me, right? So hip-hop didn't come into my life maybe like when I was 8. And that's when I got to my mom's side of the family, and I was meeting my cousins on that side. And that's when I R&B came into the picture, hip hop came into the picture, And then so it just started really growing. My cousins just like constantly playing music, and it was just like, oh man, who's this? Who's this? I still remember this old song, and I think the artist's name is Kylie, and the song was called Romeo and Juliet. And it's crazy because not a lot of people know this song, but it used to go like Romeo and Juliet, hot sex in the back of something to make you wet. And that's all I can remember to this day. But that song was, right? And I'm like,
I ain't gonna lie, that's catchy, man. That's catchy.
It was hard,
They had a hook.
right?
They had a hook.
That hook was crazy fire. And then from there, it just kept transpiring to, then I became a huge Tupac. And then I even know like there was a Biggie and Tupac thing, you know what I mean? Like not even just a beef. Like I'm not
a rivalry.
Yeah, I didn't even know it's a rivalry. I'm horrible at like that deep level of culture in a sense because I'm so out of sight, out of mind person. And so I'm like, I just like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really care about the extra
Anything
stuff.
else
Like,
going on.
Everything else don't really matter. I'm like, I like your music or whatever. And I remember when I got my CD player, Tupac Greatest Hit was my first CD I ever got. So, and he was very poetic when he wrote. So that took a lot of impression on me as well to this day because I'm still poetic when I write. And it always start off with poetry. And then it just kind of overflowed. And then I think what kicked me up to the next level to start actually recording instead of just loving music and listening to it is actually the year Haiti had its earthquake, which was 2010.
Yeah.
So my brother friends and my brother, so they're a year or two younger than me, decided to record a Haiti song or something to support Haiti. That was the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll jump on. Randomly just plug myself in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you got your brother's friend, that's their friend. And like, I just,
all right, I'm in.
To this day, one of his homeboy who was the DJ is still my boy to this day. So it's crazy. So they're writing, and I thought it was supposed to be like, bring awareness type song, bring their attention to Haiti situation, help out Haiti. That was the whole goal. We get to the studio to record, and I just hear about how much money we make, and all of this is like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, you're talking about Haiti. What's the
you know, and it's like they'll put a little Haiti swag, a little Haiti input. But it was, I feel like it was so off the topic that I thought it was about at that time. You know, you can still look it up on YouTube too. It's still there to this day. Because sometimes I have a flashback moment and I'll go look for it. And
I'll go check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
And ever since that, I've always found a way to keep recording, and I just started right there. So I had to be like 19 when I started recording.
First time in the studio.
Yeah, first time in the studio.
So 5 years old, country music. Fast forward 3 years later, hip hop
and R&B.
And R&B start hitting, and then 10 years later, 11 years later.
Player. And 10 years
when
later.
You got in the studio,
when I got to the studio.
A decade later, man. Yeah. That's crazy. So did you have anybody in your family that played music, or do you play any like musical instruments? I mean, obviously.
So for me,
what makes you so musical as Mark?
Yeah, how did it start?
Like as a writer and rapper and singer or whatever, you don't have to play an instrument. But do you play an instrument? What do you think makes you so musical? Like in your own words.
I do believe, and the crazy thing is, so my first live concert is when I was 4.5 at my school.
Wait a minute.
It was at my school though. The school was obviously.
It don't matter, bro. We didn't start till I didn't start taking lessons till I was 16. So.
No, not mine. Like me, like watching a lot.
I think you were performing.
Let me clear that up.
You said that as a genius. I'm like, wait, I think they took it.
Okay,
take that back.
Your first time. I didn't even that. Still, like.
I wasn't exposed to it. I wasn't exposed to it. Like,
but anyways,
the school was obviously well funded, I guess. You know, because every week it had something special.
What school was that?
It was Lloyd E. State at that time.
Lloyd E. State was that good?
Yeah, bro. It was
crazy.
Oh my
gosh, bro.
And it was crazy. Like field day event wasn't regular field day events. Wow. Like it was really bonkers out there. And so we had this band that came out, and I saw the drummer. That drummer was just going. His hand rocking and the passion. You could feel it.
Yep.
And the teacher noticed it and told my dad, I think you should get him to music instruments or into music, period. So we tried to do the drumming thing. We went to a music store. I feel like I remember, but I'm not gonna even try. But yeah, we went to a music store and we found out the instruments were super expensive.
As they are.
Yeah,
as they are.
So that was
not for the broke. Even if you are broke, you.
So my dad tried. At least we respect that the attempt. He tried the attempt, but it didn't happen. I ended up transferring school because, like I said, my dad and my mom got together. We went to Oriole, and in third grade, I was in the band, and I had this thing about me. If I see a lot of people gravitate to something, I purposely go the opposite.
You pull out,
yeah, so I'm like, it just makes me like, I don't want to do it no more.
Like, you want to be different.
Yeah, like so there was. I wanted to learn percussion because I had the same passion for drums.
Yeah,
since then.
It's still drums. So
yeah, so I'm like, everybody was gearing for percussion. Everybody, like, oh my god, bro! Like, it was like, what instrument do you want? Go stand by it, bro. I'm talking about where all the brass instruments are and everything. The chairs are empty because everybody.
Kids love making noise. It's like the easiest to play. Like, easy, yeah.
Everybody's out there. Like, it's like 2-3 people sitting down. Everybody's over there. And she was like, "Well, you can't
all play the."
So she had to delegate it to boom, and you pick. And I was like, "Well, I don't want it, whatever." So I ended up picking up the trumpet actually, and I wasn't that good at all actually. I don't know, maybe because I still had the passion for drums, and it was just like, whatever. Because I didn't really take my time actually practicing it. But what was the turning point for me? It was a day in school. We watched the movie Beethoven.
Okay.
That's what made me fall in love with piano. And I've had that passion for piano ever since. And it never left me. And like I said, the instruments were still expensive. We didn't have it at our school. So this is, I'm 8 years old again. I didn't really learn piano until in my 20s. But I still had the same...
wait, 10 plus years to play it from 8 and never died.
Never died.
Wow. Go ahead, bro.
Never died. So, and that started because the church that I was attending at that point needed a need, you know what I mean? And it was, I was very, and I'm still am, God put me where the church needs, and I would do it. And it was a piano. We needed someone to play keys, and I went to go learn. They went to go pay for my classes. It didn't work too well because this man was so good. Bro, this man was doing 3 things in the back while teaching me. And he's like, hey, your ring finger is off. Get off the E. And, like, bro.
They kind of piss me off, man. I appreciate it, man. They piss me off sometimes, man. Because you and I have to work so hard to get to where we are. Like,
we've come across some guys who be like, okay.
He knows exactly what finger is off. Like, this man was incredible. But I guess I wanted to be coddled. I wanted to be with me and go through the process with me. So it didn't work out. So I ended up watching YouTube.
YouTube University, man. Shout out.
Can't go wrong with YouTube.
Shout out to YouTube University. Keep it going, man.
And it worked out perfectly because the guy that I was following was learning piano and teaching it.
Wow.
Because he's a worship leader, which works out.
Okay.
Because the songs he was learning and playing, we were also playing at the church. And also he already learned, he knows how to sing, he does the singing, and he played guitar. So he was learning piano. I'm like, right up my alley. I'm learning too with you. Let's go, bro. You know?
Crazy.
And that just took off. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that did help developing my ear. Because like any muscle, that's a muscle. That listening, you don't hear music the same anymore. After you really play an instrument, like you can hear bass in a song. Most people don't hear the bass. You know what I mean? So it really took my musicality to a whole nother level, learning an instrument. So
wow. And even on that note, man, I know Mark might have to say something here too, but like my wife will always tell me like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Do you hear it?" It's like, "Do you hear this?" She's like, "No." So I have to break down like different sounds. Like so, the bass you will typically hear it on the lower end, like boom, 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 like stuff. And the piano, it's a higher mid to high register. And guitars are up there too, and whatever. So she started like, oh, I hear the bass now. Oh, I hear this now. I'm like, but you're right. Like it is when you're a musician, the way you listen to music is completely different from like anybody else who's not a musician. Because And I don't even know. I think sometimes we have to shut it off so we can enjoy the music,
yeah,
because we're so
yeah.
analytical, like to the point where it's like, yo, chill.
Yeah, your phone started ringing. You're like, boom. You start thinking of a beat. You're like, hold up. The doorbell. You're like, oh, I can think of something. Yeah,
That's true.
It's hard watching movies and listening to music. It's hard because you're always thinking.
Yeah.
As a musician, it's different.
Yeah.
Like you'll miss a whole scene because you caught on to
On the
that.
background, the soundtrack, you be like, oh.
Oh, you might rewind. You ever watch Netflix? You're like, oh, let me rewind that. I gotta.
I
Be
think
like, wait, you saw a scene or something? Nah, you hear that track? That track was dope. Like,
crazy.
People don't get it, man.
Yeah.
Even till this day, I think that's why, like with musicals, like since we're talking about music, movies and music, with musical, I think I have like a weird relationship with it. Because sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't.
Uh-huh.
Not because I don't love music or a movie, it's probably because I'm like, dang, I have to like go, I'm gonna go in on the music.
Yeah.
And then there's also movie happening at the same time that I have to follow.
Yeah.
Obviously you have High School Musical, all the crazy ones, but the last one I was really in love with was the one with, I'll say Wolverine, because that's the best reference from Hugh Hackman. The Greatest Showman.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's a musical where I was like, oh my gosh,
That
bro.
soundtrack
As a
was
musician,
My
my ears was just like
in heaven.
I didn't even know he could sing like that. First of all,
That caught me off guard. The combination.
Yeah.
The lady that played the bearded lady.
yeah, she got pipes.
The choir.
Everything was beautiful.
That right
and
there.
and my part was that I liked the most was the producers, like the two guys who produced all the tracks, all the songs, wrote it, composed it. I was like, they look like regular simple guys, but their minds are like amazing, bro. To come up with all those tracks to make it make sense. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So we're gonna roll on to another thing, but Mark does have a question.
Can I have a question? Because as musicians, we know how addicting it can be, right? It's addicting. So my question is, right? What does music mean to you? Because the reason why I'm asking you that question is, in order to get far, you have to be very passionate, and I can tell you're passionate. And I'm asking you that question because for me, even though I'm a musician, that's not my passion. My passion is basketball. A lot of time, I use that as an escape. Like, if I'm upset, I go to the basketball court. I play. Come back home, I'm happy. Or if I'm sad, or I remember one day, got home, my dad got mad at me because, you know, in high school, you feel me? You got gym class. And a lot of time, I don't feel like changing clothes, being in the locker room. So I would keep my shorts on and then just put my jeans on when I'm done playing. Got home. Vagabond, where you going with this? Like, I'm like, no, I'm getting gym. I have gym class. This is why I'm wearing like a shorts underneath. Man, I got a ass whoop. Man, he whooped my ass, man. Went outside. I was pissed. I want it because I'm bigger than him. So I'm like, I want it. I'm like, but damn, so I went outside to chill. Half an hour later, came back. Like, yo, come eat, man. Like, you just whooped my ass. Like, you like, what the heck, man? I don't want to talk to you right now. Hey, come eat.
That's just for
you.
you.
Want to get mad at me because I'm not happy. But you just whooped. So I went to the basketball court that day and just kind of like, you know, played out, and just I felt better. So for you, like for me, I don't know for you how it is with music since it's your passion.
Yeah.
How do you feel about music? What does it mean to you?
So the common answer you'll hear all the time is like it's therapeutic. It transcends all languages and it's an art. You know what I mean? It's literally an art. You're painting a picture. You're painting a vision with words. You're using the very gift God used to create us. You know what I mean? So it's very deep for me. Also, I grew up very different. Like I'm very optimistic because of music. You know what I mean? Like I grew up watching so much Disney movies and All Dogs Go to Heaven and, you know, just seeing them just break out and dance and music. I used to thought life was like that. Like if I just jump out this middle of the road, everybody's going to be on beat with me. And when I almost got hit by a car, I realized that's not true. You know what I'm saying? So I blame you, Disney. But overall, like it really helps vent the things you may not even know you're venting about. Like I was doing a song for my sister who passed away in 2013, and I didn't realize I was dealing with low-key depression until I was done with the song. I could never figure it out. Like, it was just like, but every time around these specific month and date, this melody comes back in my head, which I had saved on my YouTube, and I would kind of keep writing that same song and keep going. But it was until like the end of last year that I figured out what it was. And that music helped me got to that answer. You know what I'm saying? So music is just a way to express myself, because as talkative as I am now, I'm only talkative when you ask me something. But I was always a quiet child. So because I never had a way to express myself, or I didn't freely express myself, music was the way I could freely just put it all on paper. So that's why it's so passionate. It's literally my inner diary. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
That people don't ask about. So I put it on paper. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Dope.
And even on that too,
Love that.
man. Like, yeah, dope answer. I don't think I've ever heard that answer to that question, because, like you said, there's cliches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an escape for me. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I needed to kind of cool process, because for me, as good as you may think I am as a musician, at the same time, I am not good at writing, like lyrics or whatever. I know that's not my lane.
Yes.
So I don't know about Mark, if you ever felt like you were inspired to like write something. I could write like an essay. I could write. I could write. I don't have a problem writing,
I'm not
but
a
I
writer,
can't write
period.
poetic things.
I'm not a writer, period.
Mark says, forget about that. I ninja my way out of that. I don't know how I got
I'm not a writer, period.
English
man.
1101. So I pulled up and there like ninja style. But anywho,
Shit.
I write. I like writing, typing, whatever. I could write an essay. I don't feel bad about it. But I could never bring it to what I love, which is music. I could never bring it to that. And when I see somebody who's writing like 5 songs in like a day, like, oh, I'm just on it today, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just on it today. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So explain to me, because I know with our intro track, you said from leaving your one appointment to another appointment, you was pretty much done with what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
And it was just, by the time you get home, you're sending me a recording. Like,
Yeah.
like, come on, bro.
No.
And just like when I sent you the music right back,
Yeah.
I could do that. But if it was the other way around, we'd have to send you a
We
lyric.
both would have been stuck.
Exactly. It'd been a month later, and Mark would have been like, what are you talking? I don't write, bro.
Let's just scratch this.
Ain't
Let's
no
just scratch it.
podcast.
Let's just scratch it. Let's
No
just do the
intro.
music. The intro.
So take me there, man. Like when you're writing, the whole process, where your mind's at. Is it trigger things that you hit, or take me to the whole process? I'll let you just, you know.
So for sure, like music moves me. I don't move music. So it has to bring me to a topic. It has to bring me to a place. Literally the from the high key to the low key to the mid range, everything, how it's put together, it has to bring me to this story and to this place. And all that story and place is in me. So it's just really bringing that out. You know what I mean? So I would say, okay, so we have a track, which we're a group, we're called New Sway, and we have a track called Eyes on You. And the beat was already called Eyes on You. So that made it a lot easier, but the melody was so beautiful, and it was just so like focus driven. And it's just like, oh man, we can literally use that same title and literally let our wives know, like, our eyes is only on you. And then from channeling it, you think about your day. And for me, I literally do sit there, like my wife would tell you, like sometimes she'll see me just sitting there in the corner and I'll just be staring at her. Just literally just staring, like for real. It's just like I'm in such a gaze, and it's like, and then she gets awkward about it, like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just looking. And you know what I mean? But so that transcends from a physical thing that's going on, and now I have to transfigure it to words. Like, how do I express that deep, intense look? You know what I'm saying? So with that concentration of picture image to verbiage, that's my constant with the beat going around. And I listen to the beat all day. Until I'm done, I won't listen to any other music or any song or any other instrumentals we have to work on until I'm done, because I feel like if I get eclipsed by something else, it's going to throw me off. Yeah. Unless I'm secure in this, where I know how to switch my flows back and forth, because certain songs I might do it in a different tone. So I need to make sure I register the muscle memory on that aspect of how I did my voice or that sounding or whatever the case is. So that goes into it for me as well. So as I kept going into it, and I'll just keep writing the day, and then it kind of just basically taking my life and just putting the pieces all together. Because music for me can only work if I'm experiencing it. You know what I mean? It's like trying to get someone advice, but you never went through it. Yeah. It doesn't work. Music can only work when it. That's why I was telling Mark before, like, I really don't freestyle because if I can't just pick random thoughts and just throw it on paper, it has to really be something I went through or something I'm about to go through or I'm in the midst of or something. It just has to be very relatable to me.
Personal.
So yeah, and that's how it just comes out. And the more personal it is, that momentum is like a sugar rush. It's in like the example you gave with the 5 songs, that's possible. Like, I've knocked out verses for songs for people like, yo, I'm done with my part. Like, whenever you're ready, I'm already ready. Like, I'm on my next. Like, and that album, well, EP, whatever you want to call it these days, when we was working on, man, I was on it. It was just so, by the time we decided to do it in November. I was done with my 4th song in December. And I didn't think about doing it until like the week of my wife's birthday, which is at the beginning of the month, so of November. And I literally only had 1 song left, and I finished it in January. Like, it was just, when I'm on, it's just on, and you want to just hold on to that surfboard because that wave is pouring. So, and with music, even when I'm in a piano, sometimes I play a song that's not a song, but just the melody that's going. I get into the space, and then get into a moment where my fingers is playing and I'm just watching it.
You know what's crazy? I be hating those. I love it, but I hate it at the same time as a musician. Cause it'd be like 2 a.m. That's when you want to get inspired. You're like, dang, I'm trying to go to sleep. I gotta get up early. Yeah. But then you know how rare it is. It doesn't come as often. Yeah. And you feel like, bro, I gotta stay. I gotta hold on to it as long as I can. Like, probably go to sleep at 5, even if I have to wake up at 7. Like, whatever. Like, I'll make it work because that's when your best ideas come alive, and I understand.
Yeah, and that's actually been a lot of nights for me in the morning, right?
Yeah. And I've heard that from a lot of different musicians or singers that, you know, I just get to meet. It's like, they be like, I had to wake up I'll have to wake somebody up and be like, hey, if they're married, be like, honey, like, I got this crazy idea, like, of a song, like, it's done already, like, it just dawned on me or hit me with it. Like, it's definitely a thing for musicians,
for sure.
And I think you did answer that too earlier, like, because you're a musician and you're able to bring the other aspect into it as far as your writing and creative process, and you add another aspect, a third aspect, I would say, your life into it too, which we kind of branch into right now. I think, like, you explain it really well. All those things are a part of who you are. You know, music, writing, and then your life experiences. Let's just kind of bring people in, you know, a little bit on you. You know, we talked about ourselves. You talked a little bit in the beginning. Growing up, we talked about how we grew up on our first episode. You know, Haitians. He gives us Haitian too, so he definitely understood.
I got fat, man. I got fat. What's up?
So obviously, we will bring a bunch of different people up in here, but it's just who we are as brothers.
Yes.
We have a connection, so we're doing this podcast. We brought my boy in. But just bring us into, like, how is music a part of your life? How is that? How is music in your life? Like, I'm not talking about, obviously we are living, but like, how you living and how is music in it too, or how is it being impacted by your life?
So one funny thing, my kids, when they get older, I can't wait to tell them, I play drum beats on their back to help them go to sleep. So, like, I pat their booty and their back. And so their booty would be like the kick floor bass for me, and then their back would be like the hi-hat or the snare on that.
That's what musicians do. We make music with anything.
So that, and I'll lay them on my lap, and that helps them go to sleep. My 2-month-old, she's definitely going through it. I'm like, she's gonna grow up and like, Daddy, stop. Like, so, even when, like, putting them over my shoulder, you know, it's a rock, or like, you know, like, and it's like.
Wait, people, as you're rocking, people are sleeping on your moves too. We'll get to that later. I just didn't want to forget. That boy got the moves.
Oh, he does. See, I didn't even know.
He's not, it's not fair how he's able to do all these things. That's all I'm trying to say. If y'all didn't catch the vibe from early on, he is able to play music, write music, and now I'm talking about the moves he got. Like, he's dancing like it's nothing.
He's all around, man.
But anyways, I'll get you back to as you're rocking.
So yeah, rocking. Sometimes, even with writing my music, my first tester is my daughter, my oldest daughter. So if Nayla is not jamming to it, I know the song ain't lit. Like literally, my musical advice and assurance comes from my 3-year-old daughter. Like, and when she was 2, she was able to like say my lyrics in my songs. And Disney Love was her favorite. And then UIC came second. I used to look at my wife, that is a shame that she can do it and you can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. This song is for you, and she got, so it's just everywhere for me. Like, and I know you guys, like, I'll hear melodies when I'm done with work and I start recording it. Sometimes I may not do nothing with it, or I'll send it to someone like, yo, I don't know what this is, but this seems like something, so music is everywhere every day for me. Like, it never leaves. My ears are always burning.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man.
That's really good. So have you done, like you said, you mentioned, like, how many songs have you done that pertains to like your family? Like, I know you mentioned you did the UIC with your group, that's your wife. Like, how many songs and how many things projects that you already completed that you would say was geared towards like your family in some way?
So I would definitely say starting late 2019 was when I started doing projects towards my family. Only because I was kind of, this for me, so I like the songs out here and some of them I don't. And I think because I'm an older musician coming from an era where music was very beautiful, of course. You know what I mean? Like, their words, their choice of sound, it was just like, it was lifetime music. Like, to this day you still listen to them, compared to the microwave music we have now, where I'm struggling to remember the names, or what was that song? I'm still struggling. What was that song 9 months ago situation where I'm remembering songs from 2000, 90s, 80s, and it's like, how can I struggle with one but I'm easily remembering, and it's crazy. But so my gear is to make lifetime music, of course. But 2019 was definitely the course, because that was the stage of my life. It made it easier to write about my family. And now I felt like, why would I talk about what I used to do when I'm not doing that anymore? I want to bring a song about growth, where maturity, a different change, where we're proud about being a family man, where we're proud about being married, even if, if like, we're proud about this. We wear it as a badge of armor. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like something to be ashamed of or anything. This is where, like, I'm not doing the stealing and killing and whatever no more. I've grown past that. Like, show your fans that, and I hate the word fans, but still, show them that, hey, I've grown up too.
Right.
Like, especially like in, like, I grew up through the era of the Bow Wow and the Romeo, you know what I mean? And now you see them, Romeo's very business minded. It's like, you show me that you've grown up. You're not the same little kid with a do-rag no more. Now you like build wealth for your family, that shows growth. Yeah. And that's, for me, that's more appealing than talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm beyond that. Now, if I got some music that's talking about that, I'm probably just cleaning the house, and I just need something amp in the background. Like, really, I'm not really paying it no mind. It's not getting that much play to me. But yeah, so that's kind of where I started talking about my family, because my family started around that era. So, well, not era, but that time, 2019 going forward. So yeah, so it was easier to write about my family and include my wife in these songs.
Cool. And this one, I'll say this is for any of us to kind of answer. Like, since we talked about like the era you were growing up in or the music you was listening, like, what would you say? Which era or which type of music has the most impact? Because we all musicians here. On you as a musician, like, for me, I definitely like the classics, like the stuff you get to. I'll go back to like the 70s and just listen to like how blues was, or how. Like, I love like the funk. Yeah. Like, I love James Brown. I love those type of music, like, that was like, it wasn't really rap, or it wasn't whatever, but it was, I don't know, people call it real music. Yeah. When you as a musician, you get to really see it, because the instruments were real. Like, true. There were bands, live bands playing for them, like their recording processes. You had live stuff. Nothing was like, the song we produced, nothing was an instrument that was live. Obviously, they sampled the horns and everything, but our beat was more so real as far as instruments versus some beats that's all synths. And like, it sounds good, I'm not gonna lie, but it could take me back. It's like I'm watching the Temptations. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, I wish I was in
You
that
go way
time.
back. This guy's going way back.
I wish I was in those
That
times.
era, right?
Because I feel like
Hey.
when musicians was in those times, man, like just hearing stories about how we used to go to the studio and you don't know who we was gonna meet in the studio, and it could be a jam session right then and there on the spot or whatever. Just watching how even Michael Jackson and his family and how Selena, like it didn't matter if it was black, Hispanics, like how her group got started. Her dad was like, "Oh man, she's got talent," and the dad was teaching the kids how to play, which I think I'm gonna do as a musician, as a dad. If they can do it, they can do it. But if they can't, they can't. But I'm still gonna try.
Of course.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, like just teaching your kids how to play and watch them become a superstar. Not for the just sake of becoming a superstar, but just watch them grow in it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my kids need to be a superstar
of course.
or whatever, but I'm just saying like it's like wow. I feel like those era music was like really real, like to the point where people was like couldn't wait to go and listen to a song or a track or concert, or if their artist was coming into town, they was like, I can't wait. I'm watching old Michael Jackson like videos on YouTube, people fainting for this dude. Like,
Friends,
it's dropping, friends.
yeah.
Like, so I'm not gonna mention this era right now that we're in. Obviously, we're still living through it, but if I were to pick it, I would pick like those old times, like where it's like, man, like it's like their life was in the music. Man. Like I'm not saying they were perfect as people. I know they made mistakes, but their music brought all that together and made it like real. It came to life for me. So that would be the era. Some of the people I'll pick from an era of music. It might be different eras, but you could hear like James Brown, man, was so like musical, man. Like I heard, I'm gonna let y'all boys talk real quick, but I heard this story just by reading up on him and watching stuff too, that he would switch it up. He was like, he would tell like a different instrument, like you're not the bass player, you're not a bass player or the piano, you're not a pianist, you're the drum, you're rhythm, like you're a drum. Like so he flipped it on them. He was like, the drummer, no, you're the piano player. Like he didn't make them switch instrument, but he just
made them switch
tell
their
your mindset, be like, you're not just this. And he was like, he would switch things up to change his music around because he had a vision of like what he wanted the sound to be like, and he wasn't afraid to challenge like his band and be like, yo, this is what we're going for. This is what I want. Like, you know, and it was not something they heard before, but they never seen it before either. So at the same time, it was like, yo, like what are you trying to get me to do? It was like, try it. Just trust me, try it. And they tried it and it worked out. And that's how you get some of his crazy type sounding stuff. You know, that's like, oh my God, this thing is so funky. This thing is so good. But it's like he brought that out of the musicians, you know. So I'll let y'all boys definitely transition into like what era or what musician you could think of that's gonna, you know, help you,
can go first.
To say, hey,
I'll let you go first, man.
You know, like this is what I really, really love and inspires me.
So for me, I would think I'm more the party era, and I think the party era was definitely like the 90s and the 2000s for sure. The whole big baggy like that.
I'm with you.
I'm very I think that was will be my favorite time frame because I am, like I said, I'm that weird introvert, but yet very outgoing at the same time. Like it's crazy, but like that party era, when party was a real party where you're just dancing to have fun instead of like it's a social gathering. Like like my feet couldn't stop moving in those areas. Like that was the time for. I remember seeing Michael Jackson do that lean in and his toes and flat footed. I'm like, what? Like he got so low, and I'm like, yo, and that started it for me because I remember I used to go to the barbershop and all I had to do was one Michael Jackson move and get $5 for everybody. Like,
what?
Yeah, bro. If it was the same,
You talking about I'm a ninja? Come on, man.
If I had to do the same kick out, do a spin, and get $5 from everybody, bro, it was my favorite time frame. So definitely it would be the 90s and 2000s, but definitely in the 90s. Yeah.
So for me, bro, I look at it this way, right? Music, there's some geniuses out there right now. But the only thing is that they end up promoting certain type of music. They're trying to promote those gangbanging, you know, killing and stealing and stuff. That's what they're trying to promote. So musically speaking, maybe the lyrics might not be as good, but I feel like there's a lot of good, amazing talent out there. You have Jacob Collier, this guy.
Oh my gosh.
And
Jacob Collier.
Collier,
bro, you gotta get on.
white
You probably
kid.
seen him.
His
He's in like Europe, really, mostly.
Okay.
This guy is like probably our age, about 20. I don't know. I don't know his age.
Yeah, 20 to 30.
Amazing. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more out there. They're just not exposed yet. They're not out in the limelight and stuff. But music itself is still. I guess I feel like it's getting better over time. We don't know because they're not putting it out there.
We don't get to see.
We don't get to
displayed
see
like
it
that.
displayed. But yeah, if I had to choose a time where I would say music was my favorite, because I would say 90s like you, bro. I like the 90s, but I like the 80s as well, because man, you have some of the most legendary musicians and singers back then. Like, man, you had, like you said, Michael Jackson, everybody know Prince and those guys, and just like, bro, like the 80s was amazing. Like I'm talking about like hits after hits and stuff, man, and concerts sold out
every time.
And obviously, yeah, you still have concerts that are being sold out now, but it's just not the same. People are like, bro, like, man, the amount of I don't know if you guys remember the last concert that Michael Jackson had before he passed away.
I remember he was doing the whole tour that he was supposed to do.
Yeah, and I saw some of the behind the scene.
Oh yeah,
oh
I did see
my
that too.
God, the amount of work that it takes. It makes you appreciate the art, man. There's a lot of like work that goes into it, and I appreciate that they put a lot more work into music back then. Now you feel like the music is losing its art form in a way. It's more like, yo, nowadays all you need is a beat.
Yeah.
Just a beat, you good.
That's why when even not to like, I hope you remember your train of thought, but I just wanted to like touch on this point, like when I hear like Bruno Mars now, I'm like, bro, and John Legend, like you still get the few guys that's like doing that stuff, but when you hear that stuff, like if you're a real musician, you're like, oh my gosh, just like the recent song. Leave the Door Open. When I hear that thing come on, it takes me back to those times. You know,
much better.
I'm pretty
Live
sure.
version is much
When he did the Super Bowl, I was like, that's one of the best Super Bowls. Obviously, everybody loved Beyonce, whatever. But when Bruno Mars did the Super Bowl, I was like,
he killed it.
Yo, like he went in. But just to kind of like,
but yeah, man,
it's like we have those musicians. Sorry, I'm gonna finish right here. But it's like they have to like dumb it down. You have those musicians still, but then that's not what some of the artists want, or the producing or the labels want right now. It's like, no, we don't want all that stuff. We want you to just give us a fire beat. It's like, you just want 808s and snare and whatever. All right, bet I could do that too. But like Bruno Mars being able to like, do his thing, like just bring it out. Here, Chris Brown too, bro.
Yeah,
he's the blend. He's like
definitely a hybrid.
Oh my
man,
definitely
bro.
a hybrid.
But to finish what I was trying to say is that, it's losing its art form, and I feel like, the direction it's going right now. I'm not really a fan, to be honest. I don't listen to most of those artists out there. I don't really listen to them.
Gotcha.
I feel like it's the same thing. You can't even really understand what they're saying.
Gotcha.
And it's like, whatever, man. I don't have time for this. And so for you, a question I would ask you is that, are you doing this for fun? Is it just a hobby, or do you want to take it somewhere? Because eventually, if you, let's say, start getting popular, whatever, something happened, you have a single that just went viral or whatnot, and you end up having to sign with a label, and you feel like you have to dumb it down, and you cannot really use your Christian values or things that you value in your music. How would you go about that?
So that's a very good question. And funny enough, my wife said it's definitely a hobby, and I agree, because she knows once you start. And my best friend's the same way too. We're like, we would help, we would do stuff or whatever, but the moment you put like some kind of pressure that makes us like we have to, that's when we lose zest for it. Like we're done. And we get done so quick. Like it could be like, I helped you move one box, right? And then now you're like, yo, can you move the other 3? Like now you're demanding me to move the other 3. Now I'm like, bro, I just can't slide. Like now you doing too much. You pulling for too much that we asked for. So if it ever gets to that point, it's definitely a hobby. It's definitely it's just something I love. First of all, it's just truly what I love to do. To like everything in my life besides my kids and my wife, of course. I just love music. I love writing. I love creating, and if it gets to the point I do get signed or whatever doing this, I'll be like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? It got me to this point. But then you want to strip what I am, then there's the conflict. Then you don't want me. You want my likeness. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have my likeness without me. These two don't work together. You know what I'm saying? Like without each other. You know what I'm saying? So so that would be a funny thing. And the only reason I feel like I'm pushing music a little bit more because we're writing so much now, working on a project. And back to that original question about a project about family, we're trying to do so much versions of it where there's a project we want to do focus on family only, but the different dynamics of family. You know what I mean? You got the same 2-parent household kids, but then you got the stepmothers, then you got a stepfather, then you got the single parent home. We wanted to get that whole aspect, but it's just finding the right people to put that project together. So that's going to take some time. And so if I'm going to go to a label where, only reason I believe I can even get that far is because my friends, they're like, yo, you're really good, bro. Like, you're on it. You know what I mean? Like, they're constantly pushing. They're always like, I've been on a feature with someone. I'm like, wow, you think I'm special enough to be on a feature? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the intro. That was dope. Like, people are respecting the skill enough to say, yo, I want you a part of this. Which, like I said, I didn't start music like most people. You know what I mean? So it's like, me? Like, you sure you heard me? Like, yeah, we want you, whatever. So I'm on a feature cypher that's gonna come out soon. Waiting on the main artist who did it. Then my boy, he's like, yo, I think we can even take it to Miami and just Atlanta. Like, they're thinking that highly of me.
Right.
And it just makes me like, dang, maybe I do got something. So that's what's making me go a little further because it's like, it wasn't here, but it was someone, I forgot the name of the podcast, but he says when you're trying to figure out what you're best at, figure out how many times your friend asks you of the certain thing. If they keep asking you to write something, then you know you're a writer. You know what I'm saying? The things that you doubt about yourself, but your friends keep asking you.
That is true.
That means they see that potential in you, and that's how you realize you're great at that moment.
That's good.
Or great at that thing.
That's
so
good.
that's what's making me feel like I can actually do it, and that's what's making me push it, even though it's a hobby, but keep pushing my hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like don't just do it here, not next week. Like, keep going. Really keep going. So that's why I just love doing my hobby, and it's so fun and so free, and then that's what's creating all that is creating.
Cool.
That's true. That is awesome. But man, obviously you already explained your family aspect to it, your life aspect to it, how your upbringing was. Just country music. I always probably go back to that now. Country music, R&B.
I don't see how that makes sense.
But I've heard that before. I
Music.
heard Biggie used to listen to a lot of country music. His mom says, yeah, that's what she played at the house all the time. So he wasn't. So you're just to hear.
Your future is bright, man. Future is bright.
That's all that means. But I just wanted to co-sign, like, bro, we believe also in it. So as you see, we got you on the intro, bro. If you haven't heard it enough, we just want you to be able to know that, bro. Like, you do have something there. And for me, myself, too, I've heard it, like, as far as, and I didn't believe it, too, like, yo, we want you to play, or we want you to do this. I'm like, but so-and-so can play, so-and-so can do it. They're like, no, we want you to do it, or whatever. Or people will hear me play, but like, oh, my gosh, like, this guy, you sound like this, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mark gets it, too, like, yo, like, you really, and I tell him this all the time, too. I'm like, bro, you're something else, man.
Fire,
and
Mark.
he brings it right back to me, like, bro, you have no idea. Which iron sharpens iron, as we hear. But man, we definitely want to, like, want to make sure that we put that out there for you, even though you may feel like I'm not this level, but you feel like you are. Gotcha. You truly are, man. And
yes, you are, man.
And we're gonna try to kind of transition a little bit out. But before we do, we definitely know that you're gonna be back on, Mark, Ninja Mark. We gotta bring this man back.
This man better come back.
We want to definitely do that
better
for him,
back.
For sure. All right, so we're gonna transition to a point in our show where we always kind of like, it's actually our first time doing this when we have a guest, and we want to continue it. And we want them to be able to like, have a little challenge with us, a little questionnaire. So I'm gonna explain it to you. Me and Mark are basically gonna be able to. You're gonna pick from us two who you want to challenge. It's gonna be 5 questions, and we're gonna make it kind of quick to wrap it up.
Okay.
But you pick him or me, and then whoever doesn't get picked will read the questions. And how you answer the questions by saying your name in the mic. If you say your name first, you get to answer the question.
Okay.
All right, so that's how we're gonna roll it.
Dope.
So you get to pick who you want to challenge. Is it me or is it Mark? Ninja Mark.
I was hoping I got away with it. Oh,
He was
my
hoping
God.
he got away, so that means
You're in trouble.
I
You're in
get
trouble.
to-
Come in, ninja.
I get to read. He wants the ninja.
Damn.
He wants the ninja.
Can I ninja while we out of this? No, I
Ain't no
That
way.
was good.
Ain't no way. All right, y'all boys ready?
Yes.
First question.
sir.
All right, remember,
Oh,
say your
my.
name first. All right. First question is, if you had only one match and entered a dark room containing an oil lamp, some kindling wood, and a newspaper, which would you light first? If you had one match, all right, to strike, Ali met, and entered a dark room containing an oil lamp, some kindling newspaper, which would you light first?
Bless it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm lighting the wood first.
Wrong.
Mark, the newspaper.
Wrong. I'm gonna give you all one more shot at it.
What is only
Oh,
one answer
there's only
left?
one more left, right?
It's the
Mark. I say again, Mark. So the lamp, the oil
No.
lamp.
Wrong.
It's the match.
The match. You gotta light the match first, man. I think Blessed got it at the end. He's like, it makes sense. I can't get nothing lit unless I light the.
Wow.
So one zip right now. One
That
zip.
was good.
One zip.
Okay, all right.
Second question. Y'all ready for
I
this?
see what you're doing. Okay.
All right,
Right.
second question is this. All right. What breaks and never falls, and what falls and never breaks? What breaks and never falls, and what falls and never breaks?
Oh, the season? Get blessed. Autumn, fall.
Breaks and never
Wrong.
fall. What breaks never fall?
What breaks and never falls, and what falls and never breaks?
What breaks?
Gosh, Mark. I think he said it's a
Bless
season.
School?
No.
Hold on. What?
One last shot.
I'm thinking like vacation.
One
So
last
we
shot.
did the question one last time. We did one
What
more.
breaks and never fail? What breaks and never falls, and what falls and never breaks?
It falls, but it never breaks.
It's still tough.
Mark, school?
You just said it, right?
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah. Anyways, the answer to that is day breaks and
Come
night
on,
falls.
man. Come
Day
on.
breaks
There's
and
no
night
way.
falls,
There's
bro.
no way I could have got that. Oh,
Day always
man.
breaks and
I
night
knew
always
I had to do
falls.
something with like.
It's so,
Some type
it's
of like
so
the
outside the
moon.
box, man.
Mhm.
It's so outside the box.
Yeah, keep thinking, man.
Oh man.
Gotta think
Third
outside the
question,
box.
one zip still. Just let you know.
I'm not losing to you, bro. I'm not losing.
Just let you know.
I'm not losing. I'm not losing.
Let's go, man. Third question: If 10 birds are sitting in a tree and a hunter shoots one, how many birds are left in the tree? If 10 birds are sitting in a tree and a hunter shoots one, how many birds are left in the tree?
I'm afraid to answer now.
Don't be afraid.
10 birds are sitting in the tree.
If 10 birds are sitting in a tree and a hunter shoots one, how many birds are left
Mark.
in the tree?
Whatever. I'll answer 9. I know it's the wrong answer. 9.
Uh-uh.
I know. It's this one like it's,
0.
Correct.
Yeah.
how?
Because all the other birds are out of there. One gets shot.
Yeah, like
Them boys are
God.
not waiting to get shot. Yeah.
Oh my.
2
Yeah.
zip.
I gotta go 2 for 2 now.
You
I
gotta
gotta go
tie-
2 for
just to
2.
tie it up.
I get this. It's done.
Bro, come on, boy.
This is sudden death, man.
The ninja skills ain't working right
It
now.
ain't working.
Oh my gosh. All right.
definitely not. It's not
What never asks a question but gets answered all the time?
But never asked.
Yeah, what
question?
never asks a question but gets answered all the time?
Bless it. Phone.
That's it, y'all boys. It's all right. It's all right, boy. But I still ask the 5th question. just to see if the ninja can get one in. Their cell phone. They never ask a question, but it get answered all the time. God. There's no way out of it, bro.
Oh my.
All right, number 5. Just to see if the ninja can put one on the board.
Maybe put one.
I know he's competitive, so he definitely wants to put one on the board.
One.
All right, what word is spelled incorrectly in every single dictionary?
What word is? Oh, bless it. The word incorrectly.
Correct. Mark is overthinking it. Bro, this was not a good.
That's impossible.
That's torturing, man. That is torturing. Those questions. That's
Mark is like, this is impossible. There's no way.
Yo,
I gotta go practice now. I am not losing two more games. No more games.
Real quick Haitian story background for me. So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like, give or take, somewhere in middle school, and late elementary. So I'm like probably 10 years old. My mom picks up the phone. I mean, the phone rings constantly, whatever. I'm the one that never picks up the phone. So there's one time I pick up the phone. You know, your Haitian mom tells you, don't lie. So yeah, you get it, right? So the Haitian mom, my mom's telling me, hey, no. So the person called. I'm gonna just say a random name. Oh, it's Semayi, whatever, right? I'm like, oh, hey, Semayi, whatever. And she's like, is your mom here? As soon as I'm about to say, hey, mom, Semayi wants you or whatever, she's looking at me like, tell her I'm not here. And I said, okay. Hey, say my mom's di kosai bala.
Oh
man, my mom yanked me from the phone.
Oh, gosh.
And was like, idiot, like, you'll never touch the phone again. And I'm like, wait,
but you
told me never lie. I'm just saying what you said.
They contradict themselves all the time.
So that was one of my Haitian bring up stories. Yeah.
Oh, snap. Damn.
They always hit you with that though.
Bro.
Dimpala. Dimpala. I'm like, Lidi Lipala. What?
And they tell you not to lie. Don't lie.
Don't lie. But
And I haven't touched the house phone ever since then, bro.
Yo, that's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
I'm saying, if a house phone with a ring right now, you'd be like,
Yeah. If it's me in the house, I ain't touching it.
better call my cell phone.
God.
No landlines. That is funny.
Yeah.
Yo, I can remember like moments where like you would hear people like tell them, even at the door. You talk about the phone. Sometimes somebody be at the door and they be like, tell them I'm not here.
Yeah.
And funny, you look at them.
Be like, Kisaji, do Baba did bala.
Oh, that would have been worse. She probably would have kicked me out the house after that one.
You can go with the other person.
Yeah.
Bye. Whose kid is this?
Man,
Bye.
that's crazy, man. Because they tell you not to lie, and you almost afraid
contradicting.
not to lie.
Right.
You almost afraid when tell you to lie. Like,
Bro,
are
I
you
said
sure?
it.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I said
about
it
that?
boldly. Oh, mama did you about a lot?
'Cause you're not lying.
I'm not lying. I just said what she said.
my.
That ain't my words. That's hers. Like,
Man.
Bro, hey, on that note, man, if you guys are on our social media page or
Yes.
wherever you're listening, if you happen to be Haitian or any islands really, like who got some crazy stories like from your parents, that's just like, like Bless or Gibbs, you can share it, man. Share it with us. Send us a story or whatever. Tag us to it. We'll repost it for you. We just want to know, man, because we've gone through some stuff and Gibbs come on here as we're still in Heritage, month for the month of May. Shout out to all the shows out there, the Haitians. This is officially our Heritage Month, so we're still in it. We got one more week, and we'll post it next week when we get it right now, because this video is posted right now as you listen to it. So if you hear it, just send us a tag on IG, and we'll post it, man. We would love to know how many. I know there's stories out there. Man. We would love to know. I know, there might be a ninja out here like Ninja Mark. Might start a Ninja Mark
I got some more
clan.
stories. I'm gonna share it next time. I'm gonna share some.
The ninja got more stories, man. You thought we were done.
Stories, man.
I like
We ain't done. We ain't done. But yo, this a wrap for the episode today, man. We definitely appreciate Blessed.
Yes.
If you don't know, man, the man's on IG at Blessed, I believe.
Blessed_Prince.
Blessed_Prince. Also, his wife, creative. Get your cards done right. Customized cards, man. Like, you know, I'm not just saying this because they friends or whatever, but she got the skills, man. So she's at Creative Visions?
Yes, it's Creative Vision. Instead of the A, it's the number 8. And then instead of the S at the end, it's a Z.
Creative Visions. All right, man. Definitely appreciate your wife. Shout out to Shay for letting you come through.
Yes, sir.
You know, be on with us today as our guest, man. It was a dope episode just to talk about music.
Yeah.
And just how your upbringing was and how it impacted your music and how your life impacts your music and how you did our intro for us, bro. Like, we definitely appreciate that, man. Like I said, you know, he's going to be back, man, for sure, man. Like, shout out to Gibbs, Blessed, Shay, the whole family, your kids, you know, Avery, Ayla, we love y'all, man. Thank y'all for allowing Daddy to come through and be on the show with us, man.
Yes,
Mark,
sir.
what you got? Does he got anything else to say, bro, before you wrap it up?
Man, I was blessed by Blessed today, man. So thanks, man. We're honored to have you, man. And listen, man, this is going to be like, hopefully, like an everyday thing. Every time we have a podcast, you can come through.
Yeah,
hey, man.
Bro.
You fit right in,
unofficially trying to officially sign you. This is
bro. Listen.
This is us trying to do it on the podcast.
Just got expanded. Soy just got expanded.
Yeah. All right, that's a wrap, y'all boys, man.
Let's do it.
Dope episode,
man.
bro.
Good talk,
Dope
man.
episode,
Good talk.
man.
Yes, Ninja.
Blessed.
Next time.
That's a wrap, man. Speak on it. Let's do it,
y'all.
All right, we out.
Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Let's speak on it. Speak on this. Throw me a topic. Let's speak on this. Say that again. Let's lean on it. That is my opinion. I'm being honest. That is the fact. Don't meme on this. Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. You thought we were done? Throw me a topic. Let's speak on it. Say that again. Let's lean